So, once again, let's begin with good morning, everyone. And let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and the energy shifts? Not because they are the loudest or the richest, but because there's something about them that makes you want to listen. Maybe it's your favorite teacher who made math feel like magic, or that friend whose advice you seek even at 2 a.m., or even that neighborhood uncle who somehow gets the entire society to participate in Diwali celebrations. And what is it about these people? What invisible thread connects them all? So today, we're going to explore exactly that. Today, we talk about becoming a person of influence. So now, before your mind jumps to Instagram followers or LinkedIn connections, let me stop you right there. Influence isn't about how many people know your name, it's about how many people trust your word. Think about it. When Rohit Sharma scores a century, millions cheer. When your mother tells you to wear a sweater before going out, you actually do it, even if you're 25 and living in another city. That's influence. Real, unshakable influence. When Anilji was going back home and he has to prepone his flight on in the insistence of his wife, that was influence. So here's the truth. Influence is like light. It doesn't force the darkness out. It simply shines. It doesn't demand attention. It earns presence. And the beautiful thing, you don't need a stage, a title, or a blue tick to start shining. So, how do we actually, become people of influence? So, let me share three simple but powerful truths. First, be consistent, not perfect. Time and again, I've said consistency is the key. So, that shopkeeper near your house who remembers you ordered chai without sugar last time, or that teacher who never missed a single class in the entire year. Consistency builds trust, and trust is the currency of influence. Teenagers, this is for you. When you say you'll submit your project on Tuesday and you actually do, your group members start respecting you. That's influence blooming. It's not about being the smartest in the room, it's about being the most reliable. And adults, think about your workplace. The person everyone turns to during a crisis isn't always the senior most. It's the one who shows up every single time with the same integrity, whether it's 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. Second, listen like you are learning, not just waiting to speak. So here's a game we all play. Someone is talking, and we are mentally drafting our response. We are not listening, we are reloading. Real influence comes from making people feel heard, not just answered. Imagine you are a teenager talking to your parents about changing your career choice from engineering to design. If they listen, truly listen, without immediately jumping to beta engineering में scope है, you'll not just feel respected, you'll actually consider their eventual advice more seriously. And that's influence through empathy. Or take this, your colleague is struggling with the deadline. So instead of saying, You should have planned better. You ask, what's one thing I can take off your plate today? That question. That's influence in action. Because people don't follow advice from those who don't understand their battles. And third, be clear and kind, not loud. In India, we often confuse confidence with volume. We think the person who speaks the most must know the most, but influence whispers. It doesn't shout. Think of MS Dhoni in the 2011 World Cup final. No loud speeches, just calm clarity. I'll handle it. And he did. That's influence. Saying what needs to be said with conviction, without noise. For the young ones here, next time there's a group discussion in class, try this. Instead of interrupting others, wait for the right moment and say something thoughtful. Watch how the room leans in, and that's your influence growing. And for the adults, in your next meeting, instead of dominating the conversation, ask a sharp question that makes everyone think differently. And that's leadership, that's influence. So here's the magical part. Every single conversation you have is an opportunity to elevate someone. Every time you choose kindness over cleverness, presence over performance, you're lighting a small lamp. And that light, it spreads. You might never know how your one sentence of encouragement to a struggling teenager shaped their entire career, or how your patience with an elderly parent taught your own child the meaning of respect. Influence isn't always loud and it isn't always immediate, but it's always rippling outward. So let me leave you with this thought today. You don't need permission to be a person of influence. You just need to decide that the way you show up in the world matters. Start today. Start small. When you go home tonight, have one real conversation. No phones, no distractions. At work tomorrow, acknowledge one person's effort that usually goes unnoticed. In your friend circle, be the one who checks in, not just shows up. Because here's the truth: titles fade, money fluctuates, but influence lives in the lives you touch. It lives in the rooms you have left. It lives in the stories people tell about you when you are not there. So go ahead, shine. Not because the world needs more noise, but because it desperately needs more light. So, your exercise for today can be reflect on one person who influenced you positively. Yes. Ask yourself, what did they do or say that made an impact? And journal one way you can mirror that quality today. So, with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you.